Okay, world position offsets. World position offset input allows for the vertices of a mesh to be manipulated in world space by the material. This is useful for making objects move, change shape, rotate, and a variety of other effects. This is useful for things like an ambient animation. Is it a GIF or is it just that we're looking at? Okay. This is good reading. Yeah, whatever. Am I meant to read that? Photoshop has a normal generator button. Oh, does it? Oh, I don't have Photoshop, but generate in Blender using a mesh. Oh yeah, I remember Flippy Coin. Good doggo. The world space, I can imagine, like, I know in some games they can use materials to like make it look like something is moving. Let's say you had like a fly buzzing around. You could use a material to move that around, basically, to make it look like an animated thing where it's actually just a material doing its thing. But at the moment they're not really a great amount of detail. Oh, it's just frozen for me a moment. Can't scroll on this page anymore. Such a piece of shit. Sorry, swearing, don't listen, cover your ears. Oh, you're calling Discord. Sorry, dude. Oh, I don't have the headphones in, give me just a sec. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Brian. How you doing, fella?
I'm alright. I can help you with world position offset. I have a good example that I saw in this video.
Okay.
It's an easy one.
Sure.
Can you draw in a simple texture, like black texture with black background, draw something on black background, we'll use it as a mask.
Okay, do you want it quite detailed? Because at the moment I'm only 16 by 16 and it's blurring everything.
Yeah, well, maybe at least 256.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so you wanted a black background. And then
yeah, draw some branch looking like
in white. Is this in white color? Do you mean, or in any color?
In any color.
You mean like branches of a tree?
Yeah, why not?
Oh. Like I have a tablet and I'm using it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. House drawings for life. Okay.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Down straight it is. Right, so you want this imported, do you?
Maybe.
Okay. Is it your project? Cyberspace.dev? No, is that an advertisement to your project? Possibly.
Okay, so we already have a material, right? We can.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add a texture sample with that texture. And let's change our blend mode of our material to masked instead of opaque, or whatever you have right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I have 10 seconds delay watching the stream.
Is it because I'm not feeding the alpha through into the opacity? Opacity mask, should I just pass the alpha or the... Alright, I'll share my screen.
Did you change the blend mode of the material?
Yes. So in the material I went to mask. So should I feed it into the opacity mask too? Then it's transparent, yes, where it's not white.
Yeah, so you need the actually we should have the we can have the black background gone. It's because we want to use the alpha, right? In the opacity mask.
Oh, what, the black? I don't know.
Right now it helps, right? It works.
Yeah, I assumed this was going to happen with if we use the opacity mask. Yeah, because this is only if it's white it'll show it. Anything else it won't. Okay.
All right. Now let's add a penner. Remember penner?
Yes, penner and teller.
Penner and teller.
Great magicians. So panner.
And a sign.
Okay.
And we input the penner to sign. Yeah. Penner's output to sign's input.
Sorry, did?
We take the penner's output into sign's input.
Yeah, I've done that. I've shared screen. I don't know if you can see now.
Oh, sorry.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, okay. I just saw your screen.
No problem.
Yes, that's it. And let's change the penner parameters, speed X and Y, whatever you want, like keep it small.
Okay.
0.5 or something. Yeah, 1 is also fine.
Okay.
And then we attach the sign's output to world position offset.
World position offset. Oh, so this isn't related to the texture. Hey, Irish John, nice to see you, by the way. How's it going? How's your wonderful pirate game coming along? Thank you for the raid. Welcome, people. I know nothing about materials and shaders, and so I'm trying to learn about materials, and I'm grumpy because I don't understand these things. But I'm very pleased to see you otherwise. Welcome. Yarr! Okay, so we can see that they're oscillating. That's the sine wave, is
Yes.
it? I guess.
Yeah.
So
I
this is
guess
how we
this.
did like Jeffrey moving in the wind before in AHA, right?
Yes.
I think so. So this is this just a sine wave? Is this basically just a thing that's gonna be going up and down, or yeah, I'm not very good with
Yeah, we feed the speed, so it gets multiplied with that sign, and yeah, the panner has its own time.
So panner is a thing that is just gonna be going it, yeah, over, basically like looping around these values, passing it in. Is it?
Yeah.
This is a material graph in Unreal. We're not quite in shaders yet. We're not going to be today, but it's just trying to get a bit of a better understanding of materials for now. I'm glad it's going good. I saw it's looking like it's coming along from what I saw you've been posting on Twitter, at least, dude. JSP, nice to see you, by the way, as well. Okay, so it's just a way of moving it.
Yes.
And you'd use this on grass and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes. And with like, probably with a gradient texture, a ramp, you could have it moving less in the lower Y and higher on high Y.
So low, closer to the ground, it moves less.
Sorry, Z in Unreal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The vertical axis.
So would that be a multiplication on this then?
Yes, yes. Because like, can you drop down sine and penner? So yeah, those are the UVs of sine and penner. So you also multiply another texture between them or before them. I don't know.
Where we just want to take the Z of the... Yeah, I guess it's to pan more in the Y direction on. Yeah. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
yes. So you modify that texture to modify the animation.
Yeah, it'd be like something like that, where you pass in. You'd need. I don't know how I'd do something that just targets Z.
Do they have gradient node?
Gradient.
Diamond gradient.
Linear gradient.
Yeah, maybe.
No. Doesn't look like it, does it? Good. I'm glad to see you, Irish John. Thank you very much for bringing people to the stream, man. I appreciate it. I kind of get your idea, Brain, but I think that's one of the key things is that like I can't figure out how to do that using the tools that are available via this.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to work out, would we want like a line going up in a text? I don't know.
Can you input a float there, a constant into B? And see what happens, or even maybe vector 3 would apply to that. Yeah, a color. No.
Is it because it's a float too?
Because it's inputting a. Is it a float too?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course it is, because like it's a texture, a UV, right?
So we do the same.
RG.
I could double click on the other one and it brought up. I guess it. Oh, because it's not a color thing.
Because it was a color. Yeah.
Yeah. But we want something that goes over time, don't we? Like from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Just change one of them. 0 and 1.
Then
Okay.
that's constant
that's
0
fine.
and 1, isn't it?
That's fine. Look at the texture, the Penner's texture. It's green on the left side, then it goes to red on the right, right?
Right.
So what if we multiply them, and we look at the sign as well?
Green across and red up and down.
Yeah.
I find it hard to read this. Sorry. So what happened when we multiply that in? We just get in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very confusing. To be honest with you, I don't understand how. Well, this is green from mixing red and from having 0 red and 1 green, right?
Yeah.
But then we're multiplying, so we're multiplying. All the reds are going to be taken out of this because the red channel's being multiplied by 0.
Yeah, this is not what we want exactly, but we should understand that we need to change the look of the UV to change the animation. That's the basic of it. And I don't know how to do it efficiently either, but that's where we want to end up, right? Like,
Yeah.
With enough practice, I guess.
Yeah.
We can understand what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like I just kind of want to. I understand the idea of what you're saying, that we want it to only apply to the offsetting. You want it to be amplified more in certain directions, but I'm struggling to see. I don't quite get how a panner is this. I guess that's just it's moving between R and it's because it's the colors, isn't it? So it's basically to begin with, it has some red, some green. No green. I don't know. This is like a mix of all spots of combination of these colors, going from 0 green when 1 red down to 1 down to 1 green 0 red. So it's almost like a graph, I guess you could do it like which would be like
By
that.
the way,
or no, it'd be like this. Sorry, it's like a linear graph going from left to right. It seems, but we want to multiply that so that this line goes less. Top bit go.
what can we input into coordinate, by the way? The coordinate input.
In here.
Can you just try like?
No,
can we probably texture coordinate? Okay, so you see we have some parameters on the left side, right? U tiling and V tiling. So if you change those, 0.5 example. It doesn't help. Don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they're impacting at the moment.
It should be.
How you doing, N Perry, as well, by the way? Hi. Doing good, dude.
Okay, let's go crazy and input the texture sample.
What, into coordinate or?
Yeah.
What?
Would it work? Because it's a.
No.
It's a texture. It wouldn't, I guess.
What do you think? It doesn't. Oh no. Yeah, so it's only.
Yeah, the same thing.
To be honest, I don't know what to do. It's perfect. Does the same thing.
Can we increase the effect of it, like with playing with the penner or something? And maybe remove the multiply between the penner and sign, because we're making it all green and passing it to the sign.
I'm fine, Perry. I'm just stressed, to be honest with you. I like learning about new
Oh
things.
yeah, we have a different effect now.
Is pulsing?
Yeah, beating
Or
heart.
is it just moving in a different direction now instead? Coming towards the camera.
This is weird.
Yeah, I feel like right now I need to learn more before I can even try and make sense of this.
Okay, whatever. Let's get back to what you were doing.
Yeah, no, but still, either way, we got an example of like world offset position, isn't it? In terms of like, you're moving it, even regardless of what it's on, you're shifting everything that would be rendered in world somewhat. So, I imagine in that way you can have like, could you have like effects like particle effects, but just done on a material instead? Maybe
So using sign here helps us to loop the animation, like it, because sign gets back to where it was at the beginning, so it loops. What happens if we remove the sign and just pass in the time or something?
What from here?
Or yeah. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe the value is too high, so it goes away. The offset is too high.
The offset of.
So the penner changes the offset over time.
Oh right, okay. So maybe it's going out of range. You mean?
Yeah.
Perhaps. I think the panel is not massively high, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
When you click on sign, does it have any parameters? It has a period.
Yeah, it's like over how long you want it to, I guess. Isn't it?
Yeah, so if you input that overwrites the period, or is period like
I can't even see it moving it. Oh, I changed these, didn't
I? This is too subtle, I guess. If we remove the texture sample input to the panner, it would be helpful, maybe.
Yeah, it's just like slowly doing what it was doing before, right?
Yeah, okay. It's weird. Sorry. The preview of sign was different earlier, and now it's stuck with this yellow tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the preview is different now with the live preview.
Oh. Yeah, it was different to that before as well, wasn't it? Admiral, in terms of what I'm not actually trying to go for anything in particular. I guess it was just Bora was trying to show an example of how like world position offset could be used. So at the moment we're just going for something that pans over us to make this kind of bounce back and forward. But then we talk about the idea of getting the So if we had this, say that we wanted like the bottom of this, so to be impacted less, you kind of want like a line going, a diagonal line on the z-axis going over, like the higher the z-axis, the less you want to multiply it with the. You basically want to multiply the impact by the z value of this. If that makes sense, or the y if it's a texture. But we had no idea how to really feed that into either of these.
Yeah, I believe watching specific videos about these stuff would help.
Yeah.
Like world position offset, displacement, and depth in materials, kind of tutorials or videos would help. We can skip it for now.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in this actually. This is really helpful. This adds a lot to games.
Just like for grass and foliage sort of stuff mostly, or
Yeah.
for more
Grass and foliage. Maybe you can also using a noise texture, you can dissolve a mesh. Like both using opacity mask and world position offset, they and the displacement, maybe vertex. You can move vertices around to like dissolve and I don't know, break a mesh or something.
Okay. Yeah. I just I hate that. I feels like I feel it's complicated already, but I just feel like I don't really get the tools. So I
and like partly says we cannot see the effect at all. Can you actually change the cube to a sphere? The preview cube.
Yeah. If that's better for you. It's like some flipping Olympic mascot or some shit of the future. Write some country 2024 down. Good. Lots of vertices as well.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to change to sphere. It has more vertices than a cube.
I don't know how it has a bigger impact on those.
Okay, so where were you at?
Yeah, I don't even know. I'll go and have a look now, I think. Well, I partly wrote something earlier. I said I was going to. Here's an example of vertex animation applied to a static mesh. Vertex. Kind of similar in workflow, generating a normal. You create an animation and export it as a vertex.
Yeah.
So based on how close you are, it makes it look different. Yeah, I kind of understand, but I have no idea how it would be done.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. Exactly what.
I mean, it's cool.
Failed to multiply it with a gradient.
But I don't. Yeah, I have no idea how I can, like, part of my brain is kind of seeing the idea that it's like as you look at it from a different angle, we want to show a different part of the animation. I can understand that part of it. But yeah, that's about as far as my mind is letting me go at the moment.
Return to your education. Traditional education.
That demo progresses the animation based on distance. You can see it still uses the same bounding box for culling. I don't quite know what the bounding box for culling is. Culling for me is when things disappear, but okay, right. Yeah, I think I didn't want to just like sit and watch videos on stream, especially on YouTube, because then it's not like my own content. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. But at the same time, I think like I don't know how to learn this shit well at the moment. It's not like the example. Whenever they give an example that's confused, I feel like I don't have the stuff to play around with. And then secondly, when they have examples like this, it's like, okay, good, that makes sense. I think the truth of it is you just got to learn a lot about how vector manipulation. But like for me, it's confusing like the over time concept. Like the knowing how the panner is like, why is it changing over time? Is it just does it have an internal value that is constantly just being changed? I guess, and being read
it has
from.
an internal time value.
Yeah. Can't scroll on this site again. It's no. Try double clicking. Generates UVs that change according to time input. That's fine. Page that wasn't scrolling. Where is it? Right. Will displacement. Well, displacement works very much like world position offset, but uses tessellation vertices rather than using base vertices of the mesh. In order for this to be enabled, tessellation property on the material must be set to something other than none. I remember using tessellation before, and you could add like tessellated noise or something, and it just makes something more like spiky or like angry noise or something. Controls the amount of. Oh no, I've read that already. Oh no. So the multiplier controls the amount of tessellation around the surface, allowing more detail to be added when needed. Just trying to. I'm guessing it. Yeah, I don't really know how that's working here. Yeah, never mind. Okay, subsurface color.
What, you skipped tessellation?
Sorry?
You skipped tessellation?
Salute. Well, no, I read it. I just don't. I don't know what's happening really.
Okay.
You pass it in, and it makes. I learned about tessellation before that it's just like random angry noise, and then all it is this node tessellation multiplier.
Yeah, so here it's used with displacement.
Where's the displacement in this graph? Where displacement comes from.
Yes. So I'll show you something real quick. We won't do anything useful, but if you open Unreal and select your materials, main node, and scroll down. There should be a tessellation tab. Sorry, maybe a little. Yeah, search for it. Okay, so it says no tessellation right now. Let's say flat tessellation. Once you select that, you can see that world displacement and tessellation multiplier is enabled.
Right.
Yeah. Now, you can pass in. Yeah, that won't help. I don't think so. But still, why not try?
What am I putting in? It said the world displacement is similar to world position offset.
Yes, it is.
Do we need world position offset off then?
Yeah, it's better to have it off, I guess, to see the effect clearly.
Okay, let's put a multiplier in. Is it a what? Is it a type of data goes in? Oh. What is changing, to be honest? They look the same regardless of that.
Okay.
Use a series of infographics that break down specific material effect. Be helpful. It's good that it actually talks about them, because that's the thing that I find confusing when I see these. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
I'll just thank you, partly.
I guess it's better to use another texture when you trying the tessellation thing, the current texture.
It's just hard to know what to put in when you don't know what it's doing. Unfortunately, like I don't feel like I can guess my way around, because I don't know what the fuck any of these things do.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh yeah, I should put a different one in, because I don't know how it's using it. I don't know what it's doing to it. I don't know what it passes into and how that impacts anything. So it's just like it's connecting a bunch of wires to different sockets and then pressing the on switch. That's pretty much how it feels. Whereas I feel like if you understand part of it, then that helps. And yeah, at the moment I don't. Anyway, but that's why we're doing it, is to try and get past this level of like feeling completely overwhelmed by understanding anything.
Yeah, it's important. We're investing time in this. The materials are the core of the game dev. So even if you're not a graphics programmer or graphics developer, you need to know about them a little bit.
Yeah. Cloud. So this is clouds. So it just uses white as a color. Gets the world position, adds some noise. Then it displaces it. Oh, it uses that as the world displacement, sorry. And it Tessellation kind of 2. I don't know what subsurface color is for. We haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah, subsurface color is so light shines through your skin, and so you see another color on top of your skin, like because your skin has some subsurface properties, unlike wood. Like,
right.
You can see under your skin.
So there's like an element of light penetrates it in some degree, or
yeah, kind of like also it applies to leaves.
Right, yeah.
Leaves on a tree. And clouds as well, right? In this example.
So underneath this color.
Yeah, so here in the example, if you put the camera between the cloud and the sun, where the light's coming from, you'll be able to see the subsurface color there.
Right.
We can also see it in this angle even.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, things like that would be fun to play around with. Thank you partly for them. And I really like that it's commented like each one of these, even if they may not explain it enough for the same time. It's better than. Right, so subsurface color here is only enabled when the shading model property is set to subsurface. This import allows you to add as a color to your material to simulate shifts in color when light passes through the surface. For instance, human characters might have a red subsurface on their skin to simulate blood beneath the surface. Right, so then I don't know what it would look like without that.
I remember the character in Unreal 5 tech demo had subsurface thing. Well, remember when she is passing through a narrow walls, then a light shines on her skin, and you see clearly that it has a different color under her skin.
Right. Okay. I get the concept.
Yep.
Nice. Hair shading model is used to better simulate the translucent nature of hair and approximates how light passes through it. As hair is not a perfect cylinder, also because each strand of hair is generally pointing in a different direction, the specular highlight is not unified and is instead independently placed based on the direction that the hair is pointing. Except that. What have you found? Why are these like pop figures? Controverse, it is.
Yeah, it looks like your character.
Yeah, well.
Super Dan.
I came first. I mean, this is interesting. I'm not too sure what. Side by side view. Oh, search for, sorry, thin backlit. Is this shading or the bit above it? This you mean, is it? Subsurface scattering off on the left and on, so this is off.
Yeah, I can see the color change. Gets
okay, so
redder and darker.
And the way, yeah, I guess the way it affects shadows is actually.
Yeah.
Look at that knuckle. That makes it look like it's made out of plastic. This makes it look more like a person, actually, to me.
Yeah, it blends in well.
The shoes. Yeah, it's a way to kind of blend it, isn't it? But it kind of.
I mean, it looks more realistic because shadows are never black, right?
Like, I don't know. I find this looks
better.
This looks better. This looks like it's a plastic toy.
Yeah, but it's meant to be like they could just use a different subsurface color and the value.
Yeah. Sorry, isn't it? You're right. It's just more of an obstacle. But you're right. It's to do with the technique. Interesting though. Thank you. I know it's supposed to be a plastic toy, but I mean, this looks like a better definition plastic toy. This looks like it's made from a cheaper 3D printer. That's my point here. This looks like nice, crisp, detailed. This looks like it looks a bit blurry almost because you lose that what do you call it? AO. What's that thing?
Ambient Occlusion.
Yeah, you basically feel like you're losing most of that. Anyway. No, it's meant to be jerk. Cloth. The cloth shading model can be used to better simulate cloth-like materials that have a thin layer of fuzz over the surface of the material. So you can give it some fuzz color. Strength of the fuzz color as a mask. I think I'm ready for eye shader. Struggling with piece of fucking wood shader at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too early for eye. I would just skip it if I was on my own, probably.
How beautiful. That's such a weird combination, partly. Okay. Clear coat. Multiple layers that have a thin translucent layer of film over the surface of the material. Geschicht. Is this the film? So if it was a globe with clouds, maybe? Ambient occlusion, yeah, we talked about how I've seen the impact of that before. So do you need to give... What map do you give the ambient occlusion here? Self-shadowing happens. Surface of a surface. Connected to an ambient occlusion texture map of some type. Isn't that the same as the... What do you call it, map? The norm?
Height? What?
Yeah.
No, the ambient occlusion has a specific special one.
So it's basically where do you want to be dark? Well...
Yeah.
Refraction. Refraction input takes a texture or a value that simulates the index of refraction of the surface, useful for things like glass and water which refract light that passes through them. I get that refraction happens. Is that what's happening here with the...
The example is super silly, yeah.
That it's being like the colours have been split out a bit, or...
Yeah, why don't you just put a simple ice and show the refraction in it? Okay.
It hurts. Okay. There you go, it gives you some values here. There you go, partly. Easy. Just copy those. There's other things like water, it'd be good, I guess.
The refraction cheat sheet?
Pixel depth offset can be used to control pixel depth in the shader graph. Using logic reserve, this allows you to create your own logic, blend or fade objects based on their scene depth. Blends the ground with the object in. Yes. Okay, so it blends these. Other than having it just which looks nicer. Don't know how this controls it. I'm gonna just accept it for
Yeah,
now.
so this is similar to what we tried with particles. Remember, we used depth fade.
Yeah, to
Do you
stop
remember
the
this one?
things going through the walls, the clouds. Wasn't it the
Yeah,
fog?
instead it blends the intersection points.
Ooh. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, we're almost done, and now I'm gonna wrap up stream after that because I'm just like my mind is upset. I don't feel like I've really learned much, but I feel like I've been trying to learn for 2 hours or more, 3 hours.
So you've been hunting thieves until 4 a.m. last night.
Oh, it wasn't. No, we stopped at. Oh, when was it? 1ish, but then I needed to do some things before bed, so I was up for a bit
Okay.
longer.
You gamer.
I know what my like, mad lad. No, I'm trying to improve on it. I said to my friends that I don't want to play like every evening, even though I would enjoy it. I've tried saying like I'd have one evening schedule.
You did improve. Don't worry. Okay. Shading model.
Shading models input enables you to use logic material. They misspelled graph. To select from a list of available shading models to use. Use for when you have a single object that needs to use multiple shading models like clear coat and default layer. Guess I don't know what shading models are to really make much sense of this. This can reduce the number of materials required, in turn saving performance and draw core. All of this can be driven by logic in your material using shading model expression node and some texture mask. So you can do an if here.
I mean,
Okay.
we need to figure out the basics before we go into these.
Yeah, I agree with you. But
Just
this is what I was on about with this stuff, right? It's just like there's no quick start. There's no like, hey, let's go through the basics. The only thing closest they had in here was material concepts, which seemed quite nice, but it really didn't have much in there. It's like that's how you apply it, and then you're done. So you told me that the RGB exists. You told me where to click on the material to assign it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
For
They didn't even
example,
explain this. And then they talk about this quick start, and then there's no quick start guide. So
Unity released a shader graph recently.
yes.
I mean, it's been 2 years, yeah. And now there are a bunch of videos out there that's explaining all of the nodes one by one with good examples, and that's what we need here. And anything like that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's less. There's less just like non-industry people and making content for it. I feel, but yeah, like I feel when I went through this video set before ages ago when I was first learning about Unreal, and that helped me more than any of this documentation. I feel just some examples. So I feel like I probably just got to do some reading off of or video watching off of stream and stuff, and just to try and get a bit more clued up and able to actually try and do stuff. But yeah, okay, it's not a problem. I appreciate people being patient. I know, like Grumpy Dan is like nobody likes Grumpy Dan, me included. And it's like 6 p.m. on a Sunday. I got work tomorrow, and I got like almost a headache from being stressed about this stuff. So like, I definitely don't like it. But I know it takes time to get over these things, and I can't just keep getting stressed whenever I don't understand shit. But I think it's worse when you're streaming because you kind of that you getting lost is amplified. Like so, it's yeah. it's a bit of a frustrating process, but it's something that
and
will
it's
persist.
all okay. I mean, you're not gonna dive in blindly into materials next week. You know some stuff, you know how it looks, and we'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. I just yeah, I'll try and find something to give us a bit more structure. I think like learning a few examples is a good way to like see the impact of stuff. It's
Yeah,
there's like this balance, isn't it, between like
yes, no.
playing yourself, like that's useful, but if you don't know how to play around yourself to work how things work because you haven't got any experience yet, then you can't do that. So it's like, but then if you just follow just a tutorial, then you're not playing, you're not experimenting, you know. So you lack out on that creative
But
side.
like
So it's a balance, I think.
it will help in a fact that so you finish a tutorial and see panner, for example, then in another tutorial you see another panner, and you understand how panner works that way.
Yeah,
So I guess doing a bunch of tutorials would help in this
yeah,
particular theme.
yeah. I think one of the guys in work has offered to like give me a bit of a crash course as well sometimes, so I should probably take him up on it, which might help.
Yeah,
It's just
that'd be
that
great.
accessibility, isn't it? That, and I know Hefu was quite keen to help as well. Or Hef, I should say, on our Discord community. So that's something to consider as well. But yeah, partly thanks for getting involved in chat and trying to help me understand stuff as well.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Irish John Gaming, as well for the raid earlier. Spacey for being here throughout. Brainode for jumping on for the last hour or so to help out. And a couple of the others in chat as well who've been getting involved here and there. It's appreciated and it's nice to have your company. We'll go and try and find someone to raid now.